ARR1 by Nyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem, Harakah Kodash, Ma'amah, double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nakwat, and the children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. You had some updates in the world today dealing with North Korea. This past week, they had a military parade, and I was sitting there watching the whole parade. And towards the end, at the outro of the parade, they brought out their most powerful weaponry, and it was this missile, their new missile. They got more allies, more resources, and you got to think about it. Since World War II, basically since the 1950s, since Korea was really divided between Russia and the U.S., North Korea went with Russia, and South Korea went with the U.S. As proxies, right, in the 1950s. But since that time, you have what's his name, man? This dude, the cheese king. The guy that eat cheese all the damn time. What's his name, man? I'm looking right at him on my picture. Kim Jong-un, right? And he had his dad that was in power. But you got to look at the progress they've made since World War II. All right, as being an impoverished nation, they were one of the quintessential subjects or topics when it came to a third world country. You mentioned North Korea. They didn't have any backing. They didn't have any resources. They had China that was against them a little bit. But now China is allied with North Korea along with Russia, and a enemy to the U.S., also known as Babylon. And the Lord said he was going to raise up nations. Let me get that real quick. Why not? All right. Against Babylon in these last days. All right, there you go. This is Jeremiah 51:2. Let me get it in the lexicon. Jeremiah 51:2. All right. 51:2. And it says, I will send unto Babylon fanners. All right, fanners right there is just foreign nations, right? Strange, what is it? Aliens, you're going to send against Babylon people that are estranged from America, meaning basically an enemy, somebody that's separated from you, to become estranged. Or it says an enemy, participle, right? So the Lord raising up foreign enemies that's not allied with America. And North Korea is a perfect example of these scriptures, of the prophecies in these last days. It says, I will send against Babylon fanners, right? Enemy nations. Let's go to 1. Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon. So it's not Kim Jong-un. The Lord said he controls the powers of the earth. He controls the hearts of the kings. He's the one that develops the progression and the weaponry upon this earth. Other than that, we still be in a damn stone age. But the Most High didn't want it this way. All right? He could have us in the stone age and have animals come out and attack. But instead, he chose this, World War III, all right, a weapon that can exemplify his wrath on this earth. His wrath would melt people, you know. So these missiles are an example or an embodiment of the Lord's wrath. Right? He said it was talents, heavy talent or weights that's going to be shot upon this earth, and they're going to be filled with the Lord's wrath. That's what the scriptures say. So those missiles represent his wrath and judgment. So I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. So against 2/3 of the heathens and the U.S. and their allies, the Lord is bringing the destruction towards them. And I will send unto Babylon fanners. So they're going to eventually come against this place. All right, they got now North Korea unveiling its weaponry, missiles that can shoot from their homeland right to the soils of this place, of the U.S. And I'm sure they have technology from Russia now, from China, and they can make their missiles invincible. And I will send unto Babylon fanners, man, that shall fan her. So fanners represent like scatterers, you know, that scatter the land or scatter the chaff. So who's going to do that? The Lord has a prophecy of this land and the people being turned to ashes and scattered with the blast of wind like chaff. But what nations are set up to do that? Just like in the time of ancient Babylon, the Lord raised up Persia to come against ancient Babylon. You know, the Persians and the Medes. So now the Lord said, all right, I'm gonna do it towards this Babylon. All right, so he said he raised up fanners that shall fan her, right? Enemies that shall fan her. There you go, fan. It means to toss about, to diffuse, to winnow, right? He said his winnowing tool is in his hand. So the Lord is the one controlling it. All right, winnowing is when you scatter the chaff. It's like a broom with a rake, and you'll take the chaff, the dry leaves or whatever, or the grain, and you'll flick it into the air so the wind can separate it. So the Lord gonna use the destruction, the winds, to separate 2/3 of these heathens from his elect. All right. So to be dispersed, to sift. So the Lord is raising up enemy nations that are set up to scatter the chaff, to send those winds, the destructive winds. And North Korea is one of them. All right, and that's why we're witnessing. The Lord said He's gonna turn back our captivity before our eyes, and we're witnessing the process. And I will send unto Babylon fanners, enemies, that shall fan her, scatter her, and shall empty her land, man, the whole land. That's Revelations 11, where it says, 10th part of the city fell, meaning the whole, every divided section of this place of Babylon. All right. And it says, for in the day of trouble, so once this place is, the U.S. is fallen completely, economic collapse, civil war, right? May get hit with an EMP, who knows? On the day of trouble, that's when they shall be against her round about. So as this place is falling and weakening, the pride of this place is getting stronger. They're getting more prideful. They're more fierce because they're wounded economically. They can't be healed. And then someday they're going to be wounded physically, Scriptures say the bow of steel shall strike them through. I mean, it's going to hit this land, according to prophecy. You know, by that time, all those nations are going to be fully formed together like Voltron. And the Lord said they're going to be against this place round about. So by that time, it's going to be like a chain reaction, a combination unlocked. So as this place is falling, those nations are going to be rising up and be complete by the time this place is at its lowest. So honestly, I believe when Habakkuk chapter 2, how long, that's what China's saying, how long shall this increase? Shall America increase financially? So when the economic downturn comes, these nations are going to be right there. All right. It says, against him that bendeth, so Revelation, I think it's 13, where they caused fire to come down from heaven in the sight of the dragon. That was America in World War II, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They're the ones that initiated the nuclear age and caused these nations to begin nuclear stockpiling, or what they call an arms race, racing to see who can get the most weapons, missiles, or modernize through innovation their weaponry, right? Technology. And now these nations have become more powerful through their allies, through their modernization of their weapons, and advancing their weapons, I should say, and technology. So against him that bendeth, the U.S., let the archer bend his bow. So now they're preparing theirs, have prepared their bow, their nukes, ICBMs against this place. They're called nuclear deterrence. And against him that lifteth up himself in his brigandine, so in his missile defenses, his military, their finances, democracy, that's their defense, that's their brigandine. You know, they lift themselves up in pride, like, I can hit you and you can't hit me, because of the waters as well. They use the waters, the distance between those nations, as you can never fight me or go against me, because we got big giant oceans between us and you're a small nation. Well, the Lord has changed that dynamic to where these nations have missiles that can shoot past America if they want, China as well. All right. It says, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. So they ain't gonna spare anybody in this place. They may have evacuations for their own people, like North Koreans, Russians, China, whatever, but they ain't gonna spare anybody. All right, so let me read this real quick. It says North Korea unveils the HWANGSOng-20. That's that big missile you see on the right here. All right, and their military parade was pretty entertaining, man. I watched it. It was emotional. It was raining out there. You had them standing in the rain. They were crying and shit. And you can see that a lot of them faking. You can tell if you don't wave that flag, you're gonna have to answer to this guy here. You better look happy. But yeah, so he was watching everything being presented to him. Yeah, so it says North Korea unveils HWANGSOng-20, its most powerful intercontinental ballistic missile. I mean, it can be shot from one continent to another. North Korea has unveiled its latest and most powerful intercontinental ballistic missile, HWANGSOng-20, at a military parade presided over by the country's leader, Kim Jong-un. The parade held yesterday was attended. Anyway, I'm gonna skip all that. So Medvedev, Russia was there. That's how you know they was. Come on now. If I just gave you some new technologies to advance your weapons, I'm gonna come there and see what you did with it. Could be part of that Invincible collection. The HWANGSOng-20 described as the strongest nuclear strategic weapon of North Korea. Strong, right? Is believed to be capable of targeting the U.S. mainland. So it can target anywhere. Let me go here. What's it called? Wang Song 20. All right, I'm gonna go to the Wikipedia real quick. It says HWANGSOng-20. Right? Nuclear warhead. It can carry multiple nuclear warheads, just like China just came up. Everything is about the multiple nuclear warheads, the advancement of that now. How many nuclear warheads can it hold? How many projectiles can they make? Because the scriptures say 200 million, which I believe warheads are going to be shot on this place. Right? So it got a solid fueled engine. Scriptures speak about that. Its power is in its tail. All right, so nuclear propulsion been carried around for a long time. The HWANGSOng-20, let me see. There you go. The HWANGSOng-20 is officially described as a next generation ICBM missile, or ICBM. According to information and photos from North Korea's state media, the HWANG-20 will use the same 1,960, what color? I don't know what that is, KN, thrust engine. All right, let me get to the point. That's all that scientist stuff. The missile's estimated range is 15,000 kilometers. Look how far the Lord has advanced mankind to be able to create missiles and stockpile that can shoot from one continent, one end of the earth to the other, and then decimate a whole country. That's the power. That's God-like power. That's how you know it's from the Most High. It says, meaning 15,000 kilometers, when you hear that number, that means it can theoretically reach all territories of the United States. HWANGSOng-20 also features a blunt warhead, suggesting the missile is MIRV capable. What the hell is that? It uses an advanced guidance system, man. They said they're not going to be hit. They're going to be able to go around shit, be able to be guided like a troops or horses in battle, like the scriptures say in Joel. All right, advanced guidance system using internal inertial like movement guidance systems, combined with GPS or optical sensors to increase accuracy. So the accuracy has been increased, pinpoint, with an estimated circular error probable of 3 to 5 kilometers. Sheesh. So it says it's MIRV capable, meaning a multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle. So it can go, what is a is an exo-atmospherical ballistic missile. Shit. So it can go out of space, like the scriptures say. It should be bathed in heaven. Let's get that real quick. So it can go out of space and come back into space. Damn. So let's get that. This is prophecy, man. All right. There you go. Isaiah 34. It says, 34, Isaiah 34, and let's go to 1. Come near, all ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, man. That's the Lord's indignation, right? And his fury upon all their armies. That's where the battle's going to happen among the armies. He have utterly destroyed them and have delivered them to the slaughter. That's World War III. So he already said who's going to be destroyed. You know, it's like setting actors in place. So you're going to be the bad guy. You're going to be the good guy. You're going to get destroyed in this film by the end of the movie. And you're going to, you're going to slavery. Or you're going to get delivered. You know, so it's written for this place, Babylon, to be done away with. And his fury upon all their armies, he have delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, their stank shall come up out of their carcasses, World War III, Armageddon, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, man, with the missiles. All right, meaning they're gonna, the scriptures say that blood shall drop out of the wood, meaning they're gonna become part of the furniture and shit. They're gonna be melted. All the host of heaven shall be dissolved, man. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's a nuclear, that's how you know it's a radioactive nuclear mushroom cloud. All right. Once you see a mushroom cloud, you know it's a nuke involved. And the mountains shall, where was that? And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as a leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from a tree. Oh, come on. It says here, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Them atmospherical weapons, they can go out to the atmosphere and come back in. All right, the Shemayim, the waters. So his sword, the missiles, shall be bathed in heaven. They're going to go out, touch the sky, and they're going to touch the land as well. They're going to be shot off. They're not just going to be paraded around. They're going to be shot off someday. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. This is the new Idumea, America. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. So 2/3 in these heathens. All right. Let me get this, man. Read real fast before my phone cut off. What was that? 16:4. It says, 2nd Ezra 16:4, 16:7. May one turn again. No, 4. A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? So who's going to stop this war? Plagues are sent among you, the destruction. And what is he that may drive it away? So who is Trump talking about he's going to stop all of this? May a man drive away a hungry lion in the woods? Or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it hath begun to burn? Just like with Russia and Ukraine. They can't stop it. The fire already started. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? All right. The weak say, let the weak say I'm strong. Beat your plowshares into swords. So North Korea is one of those nations that's saying they're strong now. All right. They have complete nuclear deterrence. Deep, man. Level playing field with America now. So the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues. So North Korea is only strong because the Lord has enhanced them to bring about his prophecies where he's going to raise up enemies against this place, Babylon, in these last days to free his children, which are the children of Israel. A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? So the Lord gave his prophecies and warnings and judgment, and who shall not be afraid of it? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? So he's threatening through his prophets coming out here warning and telling people of the judgment, and the Lord gonna back it up with beating them to dust at his presence. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof. That's from the missiles. Before the Lord and before the glory of his power. So even the fish, that's what the scriptures say, salt water shall be found in the sweet. I mean, it's going to be radiation. And, it's as toxic as blood. And the sodomitous sea shall cast out fish, meaning the sodomitous meaning toxic from the salt or poisonous. And it's going to cast out dead fish, all right, from the radiation in the waters. So the fish thereof shall be troubled before the Lord and before the glory of his power. And it's talking about like whales, not little tiny ass fish. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. All right. So strong is his right hand. They're talking about whales and fish, not just people picturing in their mind little ass fish, tilapia and shit. But no, it's talking about all the fish in the sea. All right, they're gonna be polluted from this war. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. So the Most High is powerful. And he said he created the scientists, the blacksmiths, and the generals to come up with these missiles. All right, through his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, meaning the sword is sharp, is made for deadly, reactions. All right, it's made to destroy quickly. So these missiles are made the same way, for cutting and destroying and burning people up to chaff, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Can't you see it? All these nations preparing their missiles so they precisely hit their target, so they have the perfect longevity of propulsion, missile warheads, GPS, everything to hit the precise target. That's Most High doing that. Making these nations real patient too. Building up their morale. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, and they shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. These HWANGSOng-20. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth.